Hi friends, welcome back to Nitah Crochets. My name is Anita. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to make this hourglass dress. And for people who have paid for my membership, you're going to be getting another version of this dress. So just in case you also want that version, kindly look out for my memberships and make sure that you're subscribed. All right? So let's dive into what we need for this tutorial and then get started. Okay, so we're going to be working with this yarn. For me, this is Robin. It is size 2 yarn, so it has thin strands because this is light fingering yarn, and I'm going to be doubling my strands. But you can work with any DK yarn that you can get your hands on. And then I'm going to be working with 2 hooks, and I'm going to give you the reason why. So this is a 4mm. I do have a cut on here, that's why. So this is a 4mm hook, and this is what I use for the upper body of my dress. And then this is a 4.5mm hook, and this is what I used for the lower body. The reason as to why I switched hooks is because I was working the dress for someone who is very small up and then very big down compared to her upper body, and switching the hook was just to help me get a lot more stretch, even when I do not have to work so many rows of increments around the hip area to get to her hip width. Thirdly, we are going to need a tape measure, and then elastic strands, and scissors and your needle. So let's get started. Now we are going to make a slip knot, and for size small medium, you're going to work 26 chains, and then size large, you're going to work 31 chains. Make a slip knot, just like that. Now into the second chain stitch from the hook, we are going to work a single crochet, and then we work 1 single crochet into the next stitch, 1 single crochet in the next, and we continue working 1 single crochet until we have 1 stitch left to end the row. So you're going to work your single crochets all the way until you have 1 stitch to end the row. Here we are. I've worked all the way, and now I have 1 stitch to end the row. So into this last stitch, I will work 2 single crochets, just like that, and then chain 1 and work 2 single crochets once again, all into this very same stitch. So this is going to help us curve and get to the opposite side of our foundation chains. Now into this next stitch over here, that's on the opposite side of your foundation chains, you're going to work a single crochet, work a single crochet into the next. Do you see that? Okay, then work a single crochet into the next stitch, and do this all the way until you come to the end of your row right here. That's where I'll meet you and show you what to do. So we are at the end of our row, and this is how it looks like. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain 1, turn my work. The chain 1 doesn't count as a stitch, it's just our turning chains. So you're going to yarn over and work 1/2 double crochet into this very first stitch, work a 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch, work 1/2 double crochet into the next stitch, and you're going to do this all the way until, do you remember the chain 1? Oh, I even forgot. So you're going to first of all put a stitch marker into the chain 1 space that we worked at the top of our row when we were working the 2 single crochets into this stitch up here. We are going to work 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way until the stitch right here before the chain 1 space. So here we are at the top of our row, and what we are going to do is we are going to get into this marked chain 1 space. So I'll take out my stitch marker, and in there I'm going to work 2 half double crochets. Okay, chain 1, 2 half double crochets once again, all in this very same space. Now I am going to get my stitch marker and place it back into the chain 1 space that we just worked right now. We now work into the next half double crochet. We work a half double crochet in the next stitch, sorry, and then we continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until we get down here at the end of our row. So this is what we have. I've come to the end of my row and this is how it looks like. So now from here you're going to chain 1, turn your work. I think I've already chained 1. Now into this very first stitch you're going to work a half double crochet, work 1 half double crochet in the next, and you're going to continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until the stitch before the marked stitch. You are right here, and this is the chain 1 space that we marked from the previous row. So work your stitches until you are right here at the stitch before the chain 1 space. That's where I'm going to meet you guys and then show you what to do. So like you can see, I am almost at the top of my row, and here I have my chain 1 space. Okay, so what I'm going to do is yarn over, get into this chain 1 space and work 2 half double crochets just like that. I'll take out my stitch marker, then I will chain 1 and once again work 2 half double crochets all in this very same chain gap. Okay, then get your stitch marker and place it into the chain 1 space you just created, and then you're going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until you come to the end of your row. So just work 1 half double crochet until the end of your row, and what we have done for these 2 rows is exactly what you're going to keep repeating until you have so I believe that if you're working for a size small, you will have to have if you're working for a size small, you will have to have like about 2.5 inches of the bottom width, because we still have about 3 rows to work over this. Okay, so I am counting 2.5 so that when we work the 3 rows over this, it's also going to give us more coverage, if you get what I mean. But because I'm working this for a size medium, I have up to 4 inches of width so far. Okay, and I have a total number of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows, and you're going to do everything that we have done up to this point for whichever size that you're working for. If you're working for a size large, I do advise it is up to 5 inches of width for your bottom. And so when you're working the second breast cup, you are not going to work the last row, okay, because I want to use the advantage or the opportunity of working the last row to join this onto onto this piece. Okay, so let's say that if you have 7 rows, then you're going to work up to 6 rows so that your 7th row is the one that is going to attach this cup to the cup that you're going to be working. I hope that is understood. So let me get back after working mine and show you how to now attach this or join this to the cup that I'm about to work as well. So this is my very first cup and it has 7 rows. And this is my second cup and it has 6 rows. I had forgotten and then I had to undo it, so I worked this row with you guys. So I'm going to be working the 7th row so that they can be in position to be of the same size. As you can see, this is bigger and this is smaller. So we still have one more row until, we still have one more row so that we have same width for both cups. And to work our very last row for this cup, we are going to chain 1, turn our work, and we are going to work one half double crochet into the very first stitch, and then we continue working one half double crochet into every stitch until the stitch before the chain one space at the tip of our cap. So you're going to work your one half double crochet in every stitch until you are right here before the chain one space at the tip of the cap. Here we are. I have worked all the way until this point, and now I am about to work into the chain one space at the tip of my cap. Now to do that, I'm going to be working the next stitches, attaching them onto this. Okay, so we are going to work our 2 half double crochets into the chain one space, and then I will work a slip stitch. I'm going to get my second cap and work a slip stitch into its chain one space. Okay, you see that? So I'm working a slip stitch in there and then yarning over and working my other 2 half double crochets into this very same chain one space of the cap that I was working. You see that? Yes, so I have joined this to this. Okay, so now from here we are going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way until we come to the end of our row. So now we do have our breast cups joined. So what we are going to be doing is working over this side, okay, and then also working over this side as well. Okay, so here we chain 1, turn our work 1 half double crochet in the very first stitch, work 1 half double crochet in the next, and we are going to continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch, just like this, all the way until, okay, until right here when we have 1 stitch to get to the chain 1 space. Okay, so I'm going to meet you right here to show you what to do. Okay, so here we are. Like you can see, I do have 1 stitch to get to the slip stitch that joined the 2 cups together. What we're going to do at this point is we are going to yarn over, insert a hook into this next stitch, okay, and pull up a loop, then yarn over, insert our hook into, you see this slip stitch right here? Yes, you insert your hook in there and pull up a loop as well, and then yarn over, insert your hook into the half double crochet stitch on this side that is next to the chain 1 space right there, and then pull up a loop. So we are literally working 3 half double crochets together. So we yarn over and pull through all the loops on our hook. See that? Yes. And then yarn over, work your half double crochet into the next stitch, and then from here we are just going to continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until we come to the end of the row. All right, now we have come to the end of our row. This is how it looks like, and we are going to chain 1, turn our work. We are going to work 1 half double crochet into this very first stitch and continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until we have 1 stitch to get to the 3 half double crochets together that we worked at the center of our cleavage. So here, go ahead all the way until you are right here. Okay, so this is where we have the 3 half double crochets together. So I'm going to meet you, sorry, I am going to meet you right here and then show you what to do. At that point I promised to meet you guys, and at this point we're just going to get into this stitch and then get into the next stitch and work 2 half double crochets together, just like that. The reason as to why we are doing this is just to maintain the curve, okay, so it's sorry, to maintain the dip, okay, so that it keeps in that kind of shape we want to maintain for this design. So once again we are going to go ahead and work 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until we come to the end of our row, and I'm going to meet you at the end of the row to show you what to do. At this point I'm just going to explain something before I even let you guys proceed on your own. Okay, And like you can see, I have come to the end of my row. So I am working this for a client who wants a cheeky bust, more like a little bit more revealing than what my normal bust coverage would be. So for me, these are just enough rows at the top, because I'm also going to work a few rows at the bottom. But for somewhat normal modest test, some of you will be required to work a few more rows over this if you are working my size. Okay, so here is what you're going to do. If you're working for a size medium and you want a little bit more coverage, or you are working for a size large, you are going to do exactly what we have done on this row. Okay, you will chain one time, you work 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way, and when you get to this point, the stitch before the 2 half double crochets together, right here and right here, that's where you're going to place your 2 half double crochets together. And then from here you will continue with 1/2 double crochet in every stitch until you come to the end of your row. Okay, so literally that's what you do to like build up more coverage. But remember, what we are doing on top here is exactly what we are going to also do at the bottom here. So it will make no sense if you work several or a lot more rows up here, and then you get down here to, you know, work the very same number of rows, and then you have something super huge. So please make sure that you're just adding a few rows. I have worked 2, but I recommend between 3 to 4. But even 4, I feel like it's super extreme, because the more you work, the more wider this becomes. Okay, and I don't want to kill the shape of this. Okay, so just keep that in mind. You could work 1 more row or 2 rows depending on what coverage you want. Then after that, you're going to do exactly what we have done for these 2 rows over here, or 3 rows or 4 rows depending on the number of rows you have worked over here. You're going to carry up the same knowledge and put it down here. So I'm going to take my time and work my rows down here. Okay, exactly in the way that we have worked the rows up here. So just paste it down here, and then I'm going to get back after I have that and then show you what to do. Okay, so I hope we have understood this segment. Okay, so friends, I have finished working my rows on this side and then my rows on this side as well. So this is how my work looks like. In between here, I have about 1.5 inches. The width of my cups is about 16 inches. So that means each is 8 inches of width. And right now, my width over here is about 5.5 inches. So moving forward, we are going to be working the cutout of our dress. Now, like you can see, I have marked the 28th stitch from this side, but let me just give you the width of it. So for me, it's about 4.5 inches, but also to be accurate, we are marking the stitch where we see this curve starting to curve. You see where this curve starts to like bend? Now this, the point where it starts to like bend to the dip, is exactly where we mark, because we want our cutout to be from this point to this point, if you get what I mean. Okay, so to work our cutout, we are going to chain 2. This time we are chaining 2 because we are going to be working a huge decrease, and we do not want to have a cringy edge. Okay, so that's why we are working 2 chains. So chain 2, which could count as a stitch, may not count as a stitch. It's clearly up to you, because at the end of the day we are working a decrease. So we are going to skip the first stitch, and then we work 2 half double crochets together into the next 2 stitches. So to work 2 half double crochets together, you work 2 incomplete half double crochets, then yarn over and pull through all the 5 loops on your hook, just like that. So that, and then from here we are going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until we have 2 stitches to get to the marked stitch. So just work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until you have 2 stitches to get to the marked stitch. We are here, and as you can see, we have 1, 2 stitches to get to the marked stitch. So we are going to work 3 half double crochets together into these next 3 stitches. So like that. Yarn over, insert your hook in the next stitch and pull up a loop. And now we have 5 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull up a loop. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 loops on our hook. So it looks like I have 14 loops. It's because I have doubled my yarn. Okay. So there we go. Now that's a decrease. So once again, we chain 2 and turn our work. Now to work the next row, we are going to work 2 half double crochets together into the first 2 stitches, just like that. And then we shall work 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until we have 2 stitches left to end our row. Now we have 2 stitches to end our row. So what we are going to do is we are going to work 2 half double crochets together into the last 2 stitches, just like that. And then we chain 2 once again, turn our work. Now the sequence in which we are going to be working these decreases is here we work 3 half double crochets together. That's the decrease that we did at the start and end of the row. Then on this row we worked 2 half double crochets together, decrease at the start and end of the row. So that's the sequence and pattern in which we are going to be decreasing. So on this row we are going to have to decrease 3 half double crochets together, but because I don't want them to be packed, I usually just chain to skip the first stitch and then work 2 half double crochets together into the next 2 stitches. But this all together represents a 3 half double crochet together. So from here we are going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until we have 3 stitches left to end the row. So here we are, we have 3 stitches left to end the row, and as you can see, this is 1, 2, 3. So we are going to be working 3 half double crochets together into these last 3 stitches. And just like that, so we have come to the end of our row. And now that means on the next row we are going to be decreasing with a 2 half double crochet together at the start and at the end of the row. So we chain to turn our work and work 2 half double crochets together into the first 2 stitches, just like that. And then we continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch until we have 2 stitches left to end the row. Okay, so now we have 2 stitches to end the row, and that means we are going to work 2 half double crochets together into the last 2 stitches, just like that. And then we shall chain 2 and turn our work. We skip the first stitch and work 2 half double crochets together into the next 2 stitches, just like that. Then work 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. Like you can see, our stitches have really decreased. So we just have 1 more stitch until we have 3 half double crochets together. Sorry, 3 half double crochets left to end the row. And into those 3 half double crochets, we are going to work 3 half double crochets together. Okay. So the intention of this is to decrease and have more like a cutout design just underneath our cups. And that's now what we have. And at this point, I have about 1, 2, 3, 4. Between 4 to 5 stitches, and for me this is the narrower I can get. So since we are at this point, obviously if you're working for a size large, you could find that you need to work 1 more row of a decrease before you get something slightly more narrower, or even up to the width of ours, because yours is slightly bigger. I imagine that you took up more stitches underneath your breast cups than we did. So just make sure that you have at least between the most you could have is about 7 stitches, but between 5, 6 and 7 is exactly the stitches that you need to have to stop working your decrease before you start working what I'm about to do. Now, because we have stopped decreasing, what we are going to do is work a few rows of just the normal half double crochet stitch before we start now to work an increase that is going to connect to the lower bit of our dress. So we chain 1, and we are chaining 1 simply because we are no longer working a decrease. Okay, the decrease, when you chain 1 with a decrease, you're going to have a cringed stiff edge, which we don't want. So here it's okay to chain 1 and then get into the very first stitch and work a half double crochet. and we're just going to work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch all the way until we come to the end of our row, which is right here. So once again, we are going to chain 1 and then turn our work, and I'm going to work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch all the way until I come to the end of the row. Because I was working this tutorial while I was trying out the dress, I initially worked 2 rows of the normal half double crochet, but then I found that I needed to work a few more rows. So for you, you're going to have to work 2 more rows so that we have a total of 4 half double crochet rows that have no increase or decrease. Okay, so work 2 more rows from here, although my work is going to look like I have 2 rows and then I started to increase, but for you, work 2 more rows, okay, so that you be on the right path. So now that you have worked your 2 more rows, now we are going to start working an increase for the lower bit. All right, so chain 2, turn your work. Okay, so we chain 2, turn our work, and we are going to work 2 half double crochets into this very first stitch. The chain 2 doesn't count as a stitch, it's just our turning chains. Then we work 1/2 double crochet in every stitch until we have 1 stitch left to end the row. And once you have 1 stitch left to end the row, you're now going to work 2 half double crochets into the very last stitch, just like that. Okay, so we have started to work an increase, and like you can see, we already have a few more stitches on our row. Then we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. And into this very first stitch, we are going to work 3 half double crochets all in this very same stitch, just like that. And then we work 1/2 double crochet in every stitch until we have 1 stitch left to end the row. Okay, so here we are, and now into this very last stitch we are going to work 3 half double crochets all in this very same stitch, just like that. So what we have done for these 2 rows is exactly what we are going to repeat for the next rows, just increasing in the manner that we were increasing right here. Okay, so I intend to have something super a lot more wider than what we have up here. So if we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows, you are going to have to work a total of 9 rows for the increase. Okay, so far we have worked 2 rows, then you're going to add 7 more rows. All right, but just make sure that you're working, when you work 2 half double crochets into the very first stitch and 2 half double crochets into the last stitch at the end of the row, on the next row you're going to work 3 half double crochets in the first stitch and then 3 half double crochets into the last stitch. So do that. Let me get back to show you what my work looks like. So like you can see, this is how my work looks like. I have 7 rows here, but I'm still going to add 2 more rows to make it 9. And after that, I'm going to do everything that we have done. Starting from this point, you're going to mark the stitch. Count your stitches all the way to the marked stitch, and then make sure that you mark the very same stitch on this side, and then do everything as we have done on this side. Work your decreases right here, and then your normal half double crochet rows, and then after you increase. Okay, just so that what we have on this side is exactly what we have on this side. And after that, I'm going to get back to show what to do. Okay, so I have a total of 9 rows for my increase here, and then 4 rows here, and then 5 rows here. And I want to give you the measurements so that we have accurate results. From underneath my breast cup all the way down, I have 5 inches. Let's measure this one here. Is about 6 inches, 6.5 inches width. Then we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. So here we are going to work 2 half double crochets into this very first stitch, and then we are going to work 1 half double crochet into every stitch on this row until we have 1 stitch left to end our row. So just work 1 half double crochet all the way until you are right here and you have 1 stitch to end the row. So that's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do. So I'm here almost to the end of my row, and now what I'm going to do is into this very last stitch I'm going to work 2 half double crochets, just like that. Then I will chain one, yarn over, get into the very first stitch of this panel right there, and then work 1/2 double crochet and work 2 more half double crochets into this very same stitch. Then after, you're going to now work 1/2 double crochet in every stitch until you have until you have 1 stitch left to end the row. Okay, so once you have 1 stitch left to end the row, like you can see, I'm going to now work 2 half double crochets into this very last stitch. Okay, there we go. We are going to chain 2, turn our work. So here I am going to chain 2 and turn my work 2 half double crochets into this very first stitch, and then I'm going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch. So you're going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch. Okay, remember here we had 3 half double crochets, so you work 1 half double crochet in each one of them, and then we had a chain 1 here which joined this to this, so you'll work a half double crochet in it and then continue with 1 half double crochet in every stitch until you have 1 stitch to end the row. That's why I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do. Okay, so like you can see, I have worked all the way and I have 1 stitch to end the row. So into this very last stitch, I'm going to work 2 half double crochets all in this very same stitch, and from here I am going to work chains that can match up to the width of your lower waist. What I have now is a length or a width of 15. Okay, and for me, I am working this for someone who is very small up and then very large down, and her lower waist is about 30 inches, so I'm going to chain about 70. I have counted these stitches that I have on this row and they are also about 70. So if I add 70, it's going to give me 140 chains or stitches in total. And for me, that's quite a good number, because if I have 15 here, then I'm going to add 15 to make it 30, which is her lower waist measurements. So from here, you're going to work the number of chains that you desire, depending on the size that you're working. Okay, just make sure that you measure your chains, measure them to see that it gives you all through from here, and the chains inclusive, it should be giving you the measurements up to your lower waist measurements. Okay, so like you can see, I have worked my chains and right now they measure up to, okay, it is there, and yeah, it gets me the 15 inches that I wanted. I am now going to make sure I did not turn my cord and work a slip stitch into the very first stitch over here. So by now I am confident that we do have a base for the lower bit of our dress. So work a slip stitch, then let me get back and show you what to do. Okay, so here we are going to chain 1 and turn. So I am going to be working 1 half double crochet in every stitch, just like that. So just work 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way around, and do the very same thing when you get to the chains. You also work 1 half double crochet into every chain stitch all the way until the end. That's where I'm going to meet you and show you what to do. Okay, so here we are. I have gone all the way around with my half double crochets, and here I am going to now work a slip stitch into the very first stitch that started the row. Now from here we chain one and turn. The chain one doesn't count as a stitch, it's just our turning chains. And now I'm going to be working with a 4 point. This was initially a 4mm, and now I'm switching to a 4.5mm. This is just to help me get more stretch with my work, because the bigger the hook, the most likely your work is also going to stretch out, but also not to stretch out too much. That's why I just went up by 0.5mm. So to mark the stitches or the points where we are going to have our left and right hip, right now we are already at our left hip, and now we need to mark our right. So you could just get your maybe stitch marker and place it right here, or you could go through the mathematics of counting every stitch that you have on your row and then divide the number by 2. For example, if you have 140 stitches, you divide the number by 2, which gives you 70 stitches. And then starting from the marked point over here, you will count 70 stitches and mark the 70th. I pretty much don't have the time to go through the mathematics because I have done this several times and I know what I am doing. But for you that needs very, very accurate results, if you're a beginner, yeah, you should do that. Now, once you have marked, obviously you have marked your first, and then your first stitch here, and then the stitch that I told you to count, and divide the result, more like the result from your division. So once we have marked all the stitches that we need, we are going to chain one and turn our work. I've already chained one. So into this very first stitch right there, I'm going to work 2 half double crochets, just like that. So that means I've worked an increase, and this is the spot for my left hip. So I'm going to be working towards the right and then work an increase as well. So here we are going to work 1 half double crochet in the next stitch and continue working 1 half double crochet into every stitch all the way until we get to the marked stitch. Okay, so right here, into this formally marked stitch, I'm going to work 2 half double crochets into the very same stitch. So I'm going to get my stitch marker and place it into the second stitch or the first stitch of the 2 half double crochets I have worked in here. Then from here we are going to go ahead and work 1 half double crochet in every stitch. So do this all the way around until you come to the end of your row. Get back to show you what to do. So like I mentioned, we are so close to the hips, and what we care about right now is having something that is wide enough to fit our hips. And that is mostly for me, who is working this for someone who is extremely large. So I worked my slip stitch, and now to start the next row we are going to chain one and turn our work. Like you can see, if we turn our work, we are going to leave our previous increase behind us. Okay, so that means here I am going to work 1 half double crochet in this very first stitch. To make it easy for you, you're just going to mark the stitch where we worked an increase, and then the one where we worked an increase previously is right here. Alright, taken out my stitch marker. So now what we are going to do is we are going to work 1 half double crochet in every stitch. Just like this. Work 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way until here, this stitch, okay, before the marked stitch. That's where I'm going to meet you. Okay, so here we are at the marked stitch, and we are going to take out our stitch marker. In here we are going to work 2 half double crochets all in this very same stitch, Now the next row won't have an increase, so it's okay to leave out your stitch marker and then continue working 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way until you have one stitch to end the row. And because that one stitch is more like exactly where we have to work our increment for our right hip, okay? So work all the way until this point here, and then when we get here, that's where I'm going to meet you and show you what to do. So here we are, almost to the end of our row, and into this very last stitch we are going to work 2 half double crochets all in this very same stitch. So that's how we choose to end our row, and then we work a slip stitch into the very first stitch, just like that. So here we chain 1, turn our work into this very first stitch. We are going to work 1/2 double crochet, and then continue working 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way. So we don't intend to work any increments, and at this point you're just going to work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch all the way around until you come to the end of your row right here, then work a slip stitch. So let me meet you after I have finished my row and then explain what you need to do for the next rows. Okay friends, so like you can see, I have worked all the way until the end of my row, then worked a slip stitch. Now you're going to repeat exactly what we have done for the past 3 rows. Here, this is the row in which we worked a left and right hip increment. So that means to do that, you're now going to count all the stitches that you have on this row, divide the number by 2. From here, you will mark the very first stitch and then count the number that is the result from your division and mark it as well. So that means you'll have a right and left hip marked, okay? Then you will chain 1 and work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch, but when you get to the marked points, you work 2 half double crochets all into that very same stitch, okay? And you do the very same thing for the next row as well, because we need 2 rows where we have a left and right hip increment. And then after you have those 2 rows where you have a left and right hip increment, the next row will just be 1/2 double crochet in every stitch, just like we have done for this row. So you're going to repeat that and repeat that until you have a width that is wide enough to stretch out to meet the width of your actual hips, okay? For example, I am working this for someone who has a 50-inch hip width. So I'm going to work my increments until I have a width that when I stretch out my work, it can meet 50 inches of width. The reason as to why I'm emphasizing the stretch out is because we want something that is going to be body hugging and not something that is exactly up to the hip width of our clients or of your own self if you're making this for yourself. So here we are. For me right now, this is in position to stretch out all the way up to 50 inches. And I am confident that's all I needed. Now that I have the width that I want for my hips, I am going to be working 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way around for if I had 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, yeah, for 10 rows, because my intention right now, I have a 3-inch height or length of my skirt, and I'm going to work 3 more inches to get me to 6 inches. But the 3 inches now I'm about to work, we are not working any increments anymore. We are just working 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way around until we come to the end of our row and work a slip stitch, and we repeat that for the next 3 inches. Now that's if you're looking for a thigh-high slit, but if you want a slit that is slightly lower, you can, you know, work more inches to give you more coverage up to your desired coverage that you need before you have a slit, okay? But for me and my client, we want a thigh-high slit. That's why I'm only going to add 3 more inches on top of this to make it 6 inches of skirt length before I get back to show you guys how we now get to insert a slit onto this project. And yeah, and then we start working the lower bit of our body of the skirt. So this is all that we have. Okay, this is where I am, and at this point I have worked about 10 more rows going straight without any increments around my hip area. And just to give you the length I have right now, let me measure from the back side. Let me measure from the back side so that we get the accurate length. So yes, I have up to 6.5 inches for my skirt. Okay, and for me this is enough coverage before I introduce a slit. If you feel like it is too short, because my client wants this slit to be thigh high, okay, but if you feel like you want more coverage before you introduce a slit, then you will add more rows down here. Okay, I am going to be marking the point where I am going to have to split the slit from. And there is no science about this, there is no counting stitches. What I usually do is I am going to follow this line. You see the center of this line from up my breast cuff. This is what I'm going to follow and go down in that kind of manner and up to here. Okay, so I'm just going to find a stitch right here and place my stitch marker into it, just like that. So this is just to help us, because I figure that this is where my thigh is going to be. Okay, so midway the thigh, you could extend this a little bit to this side, but anyways, it's just science. But keep in mind that if you ever extend it to this side, then it's going to be on the sideways of your thigh, but we want to keep it mid thigh. That's why I was following this panel and following the center of it. If you have a ruler, tape measure, you could just use that and just follow through all the way down and then mark your stitch. Okay, so that means the stitches that we are going to work going forward are going to start from here and end here without working any slip stitches, because we want to keep this a slit and split, not closed. Okay, so we are going to get our yarn, and we are going to insert our hook into our recently marked stitch. I will turn my work to the side that I have to be headed to. Pull up a loop, chain one, and the chain one doesn't count as a stitch, so into this very same stitch I'm going to work a half double crochet, and then I'm going to work 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch and continue working 1/2 double crochet into every stitch all the way around until the stitch before the marked stitch. Okay, so this was our starting point right here. So you're going to go all the way around with 1/2 double crochet in every stitch until this point. Okay, yeah, until the stitch before the marked stitch. Okay, so here we are. I have worked all the way until this point, like you can see. And now, because I said that this is going to be a slit, so there is no need for us to work a slip stitch, because if we do, it closes it up. Okay, so to work our next row, we are going to, my intention is to open up this slit a bit more, and that is the sole reason as to why I'm going to be working a decrease on my next row. Okay, so because I want this to be open a little bit, I'm going to chain one, turn my work, and I'm going to skip the first stitch, get into the next and work a half double crochet. So the chain one doesn't count as a stitch. So this decrease is going to open up our slit a bit more, although we don't want to have it so widely open. We just want to open it up just a little bit. So here we are going to work 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way around until we have 2 stitches to end the row. Like you can see, I have 2 stitches to end my row right there. So I'm going to be working 2 half double crochets together into the last 2 stitches there and into this one. So we pull through all the loops on our hook. And then on the next row, we don't intend to work any increments. We are just going to chain one, turn our work, and we are going to work 1/2 double crochet into every stitch all the way around, just like that. So we are going to work all the way around with 1/2 double crochet in every stitch until we come to the end of our row. Okay, so for me this is enough opening up, okay, because if we decrease any wider, it's going to like be too wide open. So we are going to work 1/2 double crochet in every stitch all the way around, and we are going to repeat that until we have our desired dress length. Okay, then I'll get back to show you how to add the fringes at the bottom and then also work our edges and closure up here. All right, okay, this is what I have. Okay, after working my way all the way down, let's see, like, because I'm so excited. I have 13 inches of length. See that? Yes, that's what I have. And I guess from here, for my slit going down, I think I have about 6 inches, and then the rest were from up here. So we are going to be working an extension on the sides of our breast cups. This specifically is to give us side boob coverage, sorry, and also majorly side boob coverage, but also give us a finishing to this dress that is reasonable, because I cannot just put a strap over here, you know, and all your side boob is out somewhere here. Secondly, we are also going to have an extension up here at the top of our breast cup. Why? Because if I put a strap just here like this, you're most likely to have a bust that caves in. Okay, so to give support to the bust, we are going to have an extension that is from here all the way up. So that means that our strap will hold up. If you even see, you know, when you pull from here, it shows that it's giving support from the center of the cleavage rather than just pulling from here where it just forces our cleavage to like cave in. And this is mostly for people with a larger bust or heavier bust, something like that. So this is going to be helpful in that kind of way. And I hope I have explained properly to you what we're about to do and why we're about to do it. Now let's get started. I'm going to insert my hook into the half double crochet post, the top of it, okay? And also turn my work towards this edge, because this is where we are going to be working along this edge. So I have attached my yarn. Like you can see, there is a knot there. And since I already have my yarn here, for me, I'm just going to yarn over and then start right there. But for you, you will insert your hook, pull up a loop, and then work a chain before you start doing what I'm about to do. So in here, we are going to work a single crochet, just like that. And then, now the thing about half double crochets is when you're working along its edge, when you're working along the posts, the half double crochet posts, what you're always going to keep in mind is if you work one single crochet into this half double crochet post, you're going to make sure you work 2 single crochets into the next half double crochet post. So at this point, we do have our first single crochet into this first half double crochet post. And that means that we are going to be working 2 single crochets into this next half double crochet post. So you can stack the 2 single crochets into one spot, or you can just find the top of that half double crochet post and the bottom of that half double crochet post and place a single crochet into each of the points. So this is let me see, yeah, so this is our next half double crochet post, and in here we are going to work 1 single crochet. Then this is our next half double crochet post. In here we work 2 single crochets. See that? One single crochet into the next half double crochet post, 2 single crochets into the next half double crochet post, 1 single crochet in there, 2 single crochets into this one, 1 single crochet in here, and 2 single crochets in the next, and 1 into this, 2 into this. So do this all the way until we come to the end of the edge of our breast cup. Okay, so here we have it. You see that? And for me, this is the end of my breast cup. Yeah, this is the end of my breast cup. Now what we are going to do is we are going to look for the center of our breast cup. You see this right here. So to give more support for good grip, we need to go slightly over the center of our breast cup. So if this is the center, we are going to count 5 stitches up the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. And into that stitch is where we are going to place our stitch marker. Now this will mean that instead of having our side boob coverage be at the center like this, to help give our side boob more grip and coverage, we go slightly above the center of the cup, and in this way it's going to hold our cup, and then the remaining piece of this will be held up by the strap that has to go up here. Okay, now that we have marked the point that we need to mark, we now are going to chain 1 and turn our work, and we are going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch until we have 1 stitch left to get to the marked stitch. Okay, so guys, here we are, and we have 1 stitch to get to the marked stitch. So what we do is we work 2 single crochets together into that next stitch, and what was our marked stitch? So right there, see that? Chain 1, turn our work, skip the first stitch, work a single crochet in the next, so that means we have worked a decrease, and then continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way until you come to the end of your row. And I'm going to meet you at the end of the row to show you what to do. Okay, so here we are. Chain 1, turn our work, and work 1 single crochet in the very first stitch, and then we work 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way until we have 2 stitches to end our row. Okay, so we have 2 stitches to end our row, and in here we are going to work 2 single crochets together into the last 2 stitches. All right, and then the next row we chain 1, turn our work, skip the first stitch and work a single crochet into the next, so that's a decrease, and then we continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch until the end of the row. So you're going to repeat these 2 steps. Okay, decreasing all the way. Remember, we are only decreasing on this side. So here you work your single crochet until the end of the row, then chain 1, turn your work your single crochet in every stitch all the way until you have 2 stitches to end the row. In those 2 stitches you work 2 single crochets together to work a decrease at the top of your row. So you're going to repeat these 2 steps all the way until this decreases, until we have until we have 1 stitch on our row, and then you will cut your yarn, and I'll get back to show you how we can also decrease at the top of our work right here. Okay, so here is what we have. I have worked all the way until the end and then secured my end, just like you can see. So we are done with the side boob coverage and also support for our breast cup. Then we are moving on to the top of our cup, and from here you're going to count 15 stitches and mark the 15th stitch. So the decrease is going to be from here going, from here up to here. Now, if you're working for a size large, I figure that you have something wider and longer than this. So for you, I recommend that you mark the 18th. The 18th stitch, and if you are working for a size small, you're going to have to mark the 13th stitch. So for me right here, you can see I have about 3 0.5 inches. Okay, so that's where my extension for the strap, upper strap, is going to be. Insert our hook into what is the marked stitch over there, and we are going to pull through our yarn. Chain 1. Because we are working a decrease, I like to chain 2 instead of 1 so that we do not have a cringy edge. Yarn over, and into the next stitch I'm going to pull through a loop, yarn over, and get into the next stitch as well and pull through a loop. So this should be more like a 3 half double crochet together, just like that. And then I will work 1 half double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 half double crochet in the next, and I'm just going to continue working 1 half double crochet in every stitch all the way until I have 3 stitches to end the row. Okay, so now we have 3 stitches to end the row, and why I say 3 stitches is because this single crochet post that started the edge of our breast cap on this side is also going to have a stitch in there. So I'm going to work 3 half double crochets together into the next 3 stitches. Okay, just like that, and then you pull through all the loops on your hook. Then from here you will chain, yeah, I say chain 2 when we are decreasing so that we don't have a cringy edge. Now here we are going to skip the first stitch and work a half double crochet in the next. So that means on this row we are working more like 2 half double crochet, sorry, yeah, 2 half double crochet together. So here we work 1 half double crochet in every stitch until we have 2 stitches to end the row, just like that. Okay, so we have 2 stitches to end the row, this, and I'm going to work, yeah, 2 half double crochets together. You see that? Chain 2, turn your work. Now that means on this row we are going to be working 3 half double crochets together at the start and end of our row. So we yarn over, skip the first stitch, and then work 2 half double crochets together into the next 2 stitches. Okay, then we shall work 1 half double crochet into every stitch until we have 3 stitches to end the row. So like you can see, we have 3 stitches, so we work 3 half double crochets together into the next 3 stitches, just like that. Then chain 2, turn your work. On this row we have to work 2 half double crochets together at the start and end of our row. So so we skip the first stitch and then work a half double crochet in the next. Then we shall work 1 half double crochet into the next, and that leaves us with 2 stitches. So we work 2 half double crochets together into the next 2 stitches. Chain 2, turn your work. Now like you can see, I have 3 stitches on my row. If you have more than that, you're going to follow the very same sequence that we were working all these other stitches. So here for me, I am going to skip the first stitch and just work 2 half double crochets together into the next 2 stitches. So at this point I am confident that I've decreased all the way up, and at this point I'll just chain 1 and pull through my yarn, cut it and pull it through to secure my end. So we are at the top of our row. I'll just tie this to make sure it is secure. So if you have more stitches, you just follow the sequence. See, if you work 3 half double crochets at the start and end of your row on this row, the next row you'll work 2 half double crochets, decrease together, at the start and end of your row. Okay, you repeat that until you have one stitch on your row, then cut your yarn and secure the end. So now we do have this decreased for the support of our cup, and also we do have a side boob coverage. So what we have done on this side is exactly what we are going to carry through onto this side, working at the top of our cup and also at the side of our cup. Okay, so now I have worked all extensions on the side of my boobs and all the way up my breast cups, like you can see. So I'm going to be working along the outer edges, starting from the back of my skirt, going all the way up this edge and all the way up, making sure that we put a strap over here and over here, then go all the way down to this point, put a strap, go all the way, put a strap, and then come back all the way up to here. But at the back of our skirt, I want an elastic strand to like snatch the back of our waist. So we are going to get our elastic strand. Usually I fold it to double it and give it somewhat more strength. Now, because I'm only adding the elastic strand to the back, I usually tie it. I usually insert it into the first hook over here, the first stitch over there, and then tie it to the piece, okay? So this end can be weaved in with your yarn needle, or you can crochet stitches underneath. So tie it to that stitch. This is just to give it a base where it's like, I usually tie 3 times because elastic strands are stubborn. They can snap back and get undone. Okay, so there we go. So let's get started. Insert your hook in there. Now we are going to pull through a loop and work a chain. And now we are going to make sure that we are crocheting the elastic strands underneath. So into this very same stitch we work a single crochet. Then we are going to work 1 single crochet into every stitch that is on the opposite side of our foundation chains, but making sure that our elastic strand is kept underneath. Okay, just like that. So just work 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way until the end of the back of your waist. Okay, do that all the way until you are right here, but make sure your elastic strands are crocheted underneath, just like you can see. Okay. Okay, so I have worked my single crochets all the way until the end. Like you can see, it's already, getting snatched. So what we do, we need to get this a little more narrower, but also not too narrow to fail you to like get your arms through it. Okay. So if this is the width that you want to have, like you can see with myself, that's the width I want. So what's going to happen with this yarn end? You are going to get the last stitch over here and make a knot. So you pull it through, creating this loop that through which you can tie it to that point. You see that? Yes, you tie it to that point and make sure it's intact. And then you're going to go again in that very same spot and tie it again. Yes, just like that. And once you have done it the second time, then you're also going to tie like this, tie a knot up there. This is all being done so that we have something we surely can see and be confident that it will not come out. So what I'm going to do is you can either save this and then get your yarn needle and run it behind these stitches, or you can work it along the edge. Completely up to you. I like to use my yarn needle and just weave it in. So we are confident that we do have the back of our waist snatched to the extent that we want it to be. What's left for us is to work now along the edges so that they get polished, and also work our straps. We are going to get into this half double crochet post, and we are going to work 2 single crochets all in this very same half double crochet post, just like that. Okay, then get into the next half double crochet post, work 2 single crochets as well, just like that. Work 2 single crochets into the next half double crochet post. Two single crochets in the next half double crochet post. So you're just going to keep doing this all the way up your edge. Okay, you see what we have? Yeah, so repeat this all the way up. Yeah, all the way up until the very last post, which is this one over here. That's where I'm going to meet you. Okay, and then show you what to do. Now, like you can see here, I do have 1 single crochet because this is the last half double crochet post. So I had already worked my 1 single crochet, so I have 1 more single crochet left to fill into this last half double crochet post. Now, because I want to maintain this corner, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to work an incomplete single crochet into the very last half double crochet post, and then get into the very first single crochet post over here, and also pull through my loop and work more like 2 single crochets together. You see that? This is just to help us maintain this corner. All right, and from here we are just going to keep working 1 single crochet into every single crochet post. Okay, you work 1 single crochet all the way. So here we are. I have come to the end of my edge, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work chains, about 100 of them, or you can work 150. Here it is. After I have worked my chains, I've worked about 100 because I know they are enough. Into the second chain stitch from the hook, I'm going to work a single crochet. Then I will work 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and just continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch all the way until you come to the end of your chains, and that's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do. So just work your single crochets all the way until the very last chain stitch over here, then I will meet you there and show you what to do. Okay, so we have come to the end of our stitches, and what we are going to do is we are now going to, if we go ahead and work a single crochet in here into that very same stitch, now we are going to work a single crochet into the post. Okay, because now we want to turn all the way up and then work along the upper edge. So go ahead, work a single crochet in the next, see that, and then work a single crochet into the next single crochet post. So here it's just going to be the same. Just keep working 1 single crochet into every single crochet post. You see that? Just do this all the way up. When you get here, you just work 1 single crochet in every stitch, and I'm going to meet you right here because now here we do have half double crochets, we don't have single crochets. So work your way up to this point, and I'll meet you there and show you what to do. So here we are, and I have gotten to the half double crochets. So what we do at this point is we're going to get into this half double crochet post, and we work 2 single crochets all in that very same stitch, and then we work 2 single crochets in the next half double crochet post, just like that. And we just continue working 2 single crochets into every half double crochet post all the way until the top. Okay, I failed. So yeah, I will just work 1 single crochet because I'm going to have to work the second single crochet in here after I return from working my strap. Okay, so from here we are going to work chains. You could work about 100. I'm going to let you work your chains, then get back and tell you what to do. Okay, so I have worked my chains that I needed. The only difference this time is because we want a steady strap, because this is the strap to like lift our entire overload of the bust. So we are going to get into the 3rd chain stitch from the hook, and we are going to work a double crochet. So for this strap, or the straps up here, we are simply going to be working double crochets because I want this strap to be thicker and more sturdy than anything else. Also, there is so much work I intend to add on to this dress, some bit of beading, and only a wider strap is going to give me the chance and opportunity to do that. Now, the beaded version of this dress is going to go to our memberships, or members only. So just in case you're watching this dress and then you want the other version of this dress, you will have to pay for membership. So just work your double crochets all the way until you are right here into this very last stitch. That's where I'm going to meet you and then show you what to do. So here we are. I have come to the end of my chains, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to get into this single crochet post, the last single crochet that I worked. Okay, this is going to help connect the double crochets seamlessly onto the project. Okay, so once we are in there, we are going to work a double crochet as well. So that means that when we rest this double crochet post onto the project and work a single crochet in here, it's going to feel connected and not like these stitches were not a part of the project. So let's go into this single crochet post over here, half double crochet post, sorry. We are going to work a single crochet. Now you see what I'm talking about. It is so connected. Do you see that? Yes. So here we are going to now start working 2 single crochets into every half double crochet post. Okay, so you're just going to keep finding a point where to place your next single crochet stitch, but you can choose to put both single crochet stitches into one spot, or you can put one at the top of the half double crochet post or at the bottom. So we do this until we come to the end of these half double crochet posts. So let me just work in here and then the other in here. Now, like you can see, we have come to the end of the half double crochet posts. What's left for us to do is to work into these single crochet stitches. Okay, so we are just going to cross over, get into this very first single crochet stitch over here at the bottom of the post. You work a single crochet, and here you're going to just continue working 1 single crochet into every stitch until you have 1 single crochet stitch right here left to get to the single crochet 2 together that is at the dip of our cleavage. So that's where I'm going to meet you and show you what to do. Okay, so here we are. Now I need to maintain the dip, so I'm going to work 2 single crochets together into the next 2 stitches, just like that. Then from here I'm going to continue with 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way until I get to the half double crochet posts. Okay, so continue with 1 single crochet until you get right here, and then go up your half double crochet posts just like we did over here. Then work your chains and work your double crochets just like we did over here. You do it over here, then come back and do the very same thing that we did on this side. Okay, and go down your work. Okay, you will go down on this side, you work your strap over here, then go down and go down until you get to this point where we started our edge from. Okay, then work a slip stitch, cut your yarn, weave in your ends. Now, because I want to go and sit down and just finish this project off on my own, I am going to leave after I have showed you how to maneuver the edge of the center of our cutout, because I feel like we also need to polish this edge. I am going to start from here. Let's see. Yeah, I think we had a chain one in between here, so that's where I'm going to start from. Okay, that's where I'm going to start from. I'm going to pull my loop through that and work a single crochet just like that. Then I'm going to be working 2 single crochets into every half double crochet post. So for this is very simple because it's not any different from what we have been doing. Just make sure that you work 2 single crochets into every half double crochet post. You see that? And you're going to do this all the way up until this very last half double crochet post. Okay, so I am there. I have worked 1 single crochet into the very last half double crochet post. Now to work my second single crochet, I'm going to pull through my loop, work an incomplete single crochet, and then cross over to this next single crochet stitch and work 2 single crochets together in that kind of manner. Okay, so from here we are going to now work 1 single crochet into every stitch along the bottom edge of our cap until we get to the stitch before the single crochet 2 together that is at the center of our cleavage. So let me meet you guys right here and then show you what to do, because we also need to maintain this deep curve. Okay, so now here I am now going to work 2 single crochets together into this next 2 stitches just like that, and then cross over to the bottom edge of the next cap and just continue working 1 single crochet in every stitch all the way around. So you're going to work your 1 single crochet into every stitch. When you get here, you will work 2 single crochet. When you get here, you work 2 single crochets together into this stitch and the half double crochet post over here. Then from there, you will maintain 2 single crochets into every half double crochet post all the way until the bottom here, and then work a slip stitch, cut your yarn, weave in your ends. So let me just get back to show you how that dress looks like and how it has come out, and then we come to the end of this tutorial. So this is how our dress came out, and I love everything about it. So I'm going to be working a few twitches onto it, and that tutorial for the other version is going to be for members only. But thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.